Welcome back to the Ball Does Lie podcast, your one-stop shop for daily NBA content. My name is Amir with my co-host Brendan today. So Brendan, a few days ago, it was officially announced that Jonathan Kuminga has requested a trade from the Golden State Warriors. So this is not speculation anymore, even though it was
A
never
lot of
speculation.
speculating. I was going to say, not
There's
a lot
not
of
too much
speculating to begin
speculation,
with.
but hey, he has officially requested a trade, and as of Thursday, he has been finally eligible to be traded. And so honestly, I don't blame him. I mean, he's 23 years old. He's still insanely athletic. He's growing as a scorer, not this year, obviously, as he's regressing. Um, a lot of that could be the writing was on the wall, right? And he's not putting in much of that effort. He's missed a lot of games anyway with DNPs, with injury, but his role has fluctuated and it's been tough. It's been tough for him when you're young and talented and you feel like there's no runway or no opportunity for development. Then I understand where he's coming from, but what are your thoughts on the whole scenario? Like, what do you think his value is? Like, what can the Warriors actually get for him? Because I've seen some rumors out there with different packages where they're saying the Warriors might have to attach a pick to get rid of him. Do you think that's the case? What is his value, and what do you think they actually will get for him?
Yeah, I think unfortunately, as much as I do think Steve Kerr is a great coach, him not playing Kuminga at all has basically cratered his trade value. Can't imagine what his actual value is, but I think attaching a pick is now inevitably what they're going to have to do. And it's definitely, as you were saying, a frustrating time for Kuminga, especially coming off the heels of getting some good playoff minutes last year, playing pretty well in the playoffs, and then coming into this season getting the full vote of confidence. He's in the starting lineup. He's earned that spot. Steve Kerr's words, he's earned it. And then after the first, whatever it was, 10 to 15 games, all of a sudden he's out of the rotation. After he had his injury makes very little sense. And I think that's had a huge impact on his trade value. So I do think the Warriors are probably going to have to attach some pick to this. I would imagine if I'm any suitor for Kuminga, I'm looking at something in the 2030 range, kind of after post-Curry era. Because I think with Curry, you're always going to have a baseline of you're going to be in the playoffs and the play-in mix. But there are some interesting, I think, options that the Warriors could at least look at with Kuminga. It's been reported today. We're taping this on a Saturday morning. Daniel Gafford is a huge target for the Warriors and someone I think they desperately could use. They need size. They need good rim protection. So I think I'd like to see Gafford with the Dubs, and I think Kuminga going over to the Mavs is an interesting fit. Mavericks kind of in a bit of a rebuild. He'll have the chance to play alongside Cooper Flagg, another great young player, and I think the Mavericks could really use his wing scoring, and that's what Kuminga wants to be. He's always said he wants to be that type of wing scorer, and it never fit with the Warriors system, with their identity. So I think it'd be great for him to get a new scene, get a new coach, and maybe inject a little bit of confidence. But to throw it back to you, Amir, if we're going to go back to your question about attaching a pick, do you think that's right? Do you think his value is at that point where you need to have some draft compensation in addition to some players coming back?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, he does have a team option next year for what is he making? Like 25 next year? Is it 24? He got that like rookie extension, right? If I'm
Yeah.
correct? What is his
Yeah,
contract
he
look like?
did. He did sign that extension. I'll need to look up the numbers exactly, but I think it is in that range that you're talking about.
Like it's tougher though because the team that does trade for him can audition him for the rest of the season. And if he fits with the system, if he's playing well, if he's motivated, then they can wait to sign that extension with him. And they have that player, they have that team option, which is still going to be relatively affordable. But if he's playing really good, then they have the option to extend him right there. If you had a player option and his market value has been diminished and you assume that he was going to pick it up no matter what, then that's a little bit risky for the team that's going to pick him up, especially if he's not a good fit and if he's playing bad still and he's not developing. So I don't know how I feel. Like, is his value really that bad where you need to attach a pick? Like, because there was a rumor out there that said maybe they can trade him to the Miami Heat for, and I probably wouldn't do this, but I would consider it because of the pick. Jonathan Kuminga on a first round pick for Norman Powell. So like giving the Warriors someone who's a little bit older, continue to elevate their age, but someone who is a great third option for that team, who's a bucket, who can give them 17 to 20 points per game. Like that would be huge, I think, for both teams because Kuminga would then fit in with the Tyler the Kalel Ware, Hawkes timeline, and you would get a first round pick. Like, are the Heat actually going to win with Norman Powell right now as your first option? Like, no, he's the third option, and he's operating as our top playmaker. I would consider that with the first round pick. If there's no first round pick, then no, I would not consider that, because Jonathan Kuminga is not going to fit. Replacing him with Powell, like, or vice versa, the Miami Heat already struggle spacing the floor and shooting anyway. Like, that's not going to be the greatest fit as an option right now. So I don't know. I really don't know if they have to attach a first round pick. Like, if they do, though, that makes it way more enticing to take on his contract if you're a semi-contending team. So right now he's linked to losing teams, the Nets, the Mavs, your Kings.
The Kings are in there. Yeah.
But if you're going to trade him to like a contender type of team, then I think attaching that first round pick is lucrative for a team that is actually contending. So you mentioned you think they do need to attach it. You think his value is, we'll close here. You think his value has fallen that much essentially because of Kerr, right? A lot of it seems because of opportunity at this point, not because of skill. But I think that's kind of wild that, like, because he's still only 23 years old, and you see what he did in the playoffs last year when Curry was injured. Right? He averaged like 20 something points in that second round.
I think if he gets the opportunity to really be a scorer on a team, that's where you can really maximize his ability and his skill set. That's what he's good at. He's good at scoring the ball. So I think a lot of this will be placed at Steve Kerr's feet. A lot of the blame will be placed at Steve Kerr's feet for kind of creating the value here. But it's tough as a coach who probably never really wanted Kuminga to begin with. You know, there were reports coming out he wanted Franz Wagner in that draft over Kuminga. And I think Franz fits the identity of the Warriors a little bit better than Kuminga did. But, you know, back to the value discussion on Kuminga, I think we're at the point. I wouldn't be surprised, I guess, it would be my position on if the Warriors had to attach a pick with Kuminga to get rid of him, because they've been at this point now. How long have we been talking about Kuminga trades now? You know, if they found a suitor, I think we would have executed something. It's tough to say. It's a weird situation, I think, for all parties involved. I think everybody wants this to happen, whether he gets traded to any one of the teams you listed, because I think we just want to see a fresh start. We want to see Kuminga in a place where he can flourish, and the Warriors want a piece that can help them win now. And based on Kuminga's game log, you can clearly see that's just not going to be the case.
Yeah, it's tough because the issue is whatever team that signs them is going to have to possibly be willing to give him an extension, and they might have to give him an extension, and he hasn't really showed that he's earned an extension, and I don't see him as a guy that should be making upwards of 35 or more. Like the range that he's in now, you know, like, and the upside that he potentially has, I could see him in like the 20 to 30 range, you know, but like he's got an ego and he thinks he's more valuable than that. And he thinks that a lot of his reasons why he has been playing worse or not playing as effectively is usage. Like he's not getting the opportunity. He doesn't have that defined role. So that's going to be hard, like for teams. Like that's why maybe these teams that aren't contenders, that have the cap space, that aren't going to win anyway, are the ones that are probably going to have to take a risk. And I mean, Dallas would be very interesting too, because Kyrie Irving's going to come back, and having Kyrie, having Cooper, having AD for like 30 games a year, and then having Kuminga in there could be a really good foursome right there. Honestly, we'll see. I think that's an interesting fit. And if they keep PJ Washington, you know, they have a lot of size and functional size that can work. But anyway, we'll see what happens. The February 5th trade deadline is right around the corner. Looks like we're 2.5 weeks away from that. So it should be a lot of speculation and rumors and interest over that time frame. He's gonna be gone. There's no incentive for them to keep him, so he'll be traded somewhere. So we'll see what happens. We'll come back with that news once we hear about it. But anyway, thanks for hopping on, Brendan. Appreciate the time. And if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to like and share and subscribe to the channel. Thanks again.